as Vice President of the Nome Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of the people of Nome, GPAA, we love you and welcome to Nome, you all. Give yourselves a hand. We love to have you here. My name's Richard, and you know when Jesse was singing, I'm gonna, instead of reading Robert Service, which I do a lot of times, I left my glasses at home. So I'm gonna do something I can do without glasses, and that is tell you my story. Before I lived, and people coming to Alaska, the stories are great. You know, of course, I preface everything by saying that this is the land of the Inupiaq Eskimo, and for 10,000 years. How Richard came to be here, and then before that Barrow, and before that New York City in the theater is kind of a fun story. I'm going to share it with you. But when Jesse was singing, Jesse, are you listening to me? Hello Central. My softball career in Alaska lasted one game. I was with AC up in Barrow, right? They put me out in the outfield. This was very wise, not a lot happens. Hello, Central. They put me out there. Between the first and the seventh inning, the puddles froze. I said, the hell with this, Hello, Central. But how did I get to be there? It's really a fun story. And again, so many of the stories, it's just one, but it's just an example. Born back east in a little town called Mountain Lakes, New Jersey, my father, New Jersey, Jeremy. And you can take the kid out of New Jersey, but you can't take New Jersey out of the kid. And my father was the only dentist. When I was about 8 years old, my father was drafted into the Air Force. I grew up an Air Force brat, a military brat. What a wonderful way to grow up. If you're one, say hello, Central. Yes, sir. Wonderful way to grow up. Lived abroad, lived in the Orient, lived in Europe, graduated from high school in England. My ambition, all of my life, surprise, surprise, is the theater, performance, singing, acting, dancing, the whole 9 yards. It's what I do. It's what I did. It's always what I wanted. So after a few years of college, I went to New York City, and I was very lucky. I had talent, I had direction, and I was, you know, I was driven. It was kind of like gold. Hello, Central. I was driven. And got my equity card very quickly. I was quite successful. I understudied Joel Grey in Cabaret. I was a replacement fiddler in Fiddler. I did summer stock. I did industrials. I did tours. As I described it, the phone never stopped ringing. Then, what the hell are you doing here, dick? Good answer is I drank. And I'm going to compress about 14 years of my life into a couple of sentences. My life went to hell in a handcar. A relationship of 15 years ended. I was wah. The phone, she stopped ringing. And I was a piece of crap is what I was. A talented piece of crap, but nonetheless a piece of crap. So my family, as I look back on it, my family and friends did an intervention. The next thing I know, I'm on an airplane with a one-way ticket to Anchorage, Alaska to visit my brother Bert, who ran Merrill Lynch's operation in the state. Well, I was in Alaska. I didn't know what to do with my life. I'm a failure at that which I love most, which was the theater. My brother, Bert the stockbroker, set up an appointment with Alan Gallant, who was then president of Alaska Commercial Company. Another little preface. This story, when I have folks who are native folks, and I know Mrs. Bushu is here and Brian is here, I always preface this story because it is the people of the far north that really saved my life. And that's a true story. In any case, and this is a story of irony. So at the end of this meeting with Alan, it turns out that Alan was Jewish and from New York. I had an affinity with this guy from the get-go. At the end of our meeting, he kind of pushed back his hat and he said, you know, Beneville, I liked your style. We got an opening in Point Barra or an opening in Cordova. And I thought for a minute, and all I could think to myself was, my God, I've come this far north to go south to some place that sounded vaguely Mexican. Barrow it was. I arrived in Barrow the 1st of February, 1982, 11 o'clock in the morning, the middle of the night, 40 degrees below zero, and the snow is blowing up. There I stood at the top of this winging Air Alaska jet stairway with my camel hair wraparound coat, a three-piece suit, a tie, and a fedora, for God's sake. As I looked at the terminal, the fine Eskimo people of Barrow are wiping the steam off the window, looking at me as if to say, what the hell is that? I'm looking back at them and going, oh my God, what have I done this time? So I went to work for AC. About 3 weeks later, they offered me to manage the stereo and furniture departments in the AC company Stockpot, Barrow, Alaska, 1,000 miles from the North Pole. One day in April, I'm selling something to an old Eskimo couple, a wonderful Eskimo couple, Thomas and Myrtle Akutchuk. And as I'm selling this item, my grandmother's words of about 30 years before, when I was a little boy, and we watched the Subway series, the Yankees and the Dodgers back east, and I'd root for the Yankees just to piss her off because she was a Dodgers fan. She would turn to me and in her Irish way, she'd wag her finger and she'd say, you know, Dick, one of these days, with your mouth, with your gift of gab, you're going to end up selling freezers to the Eskimos. 15-footer, I'm selling Thomas and Myrtle. As it's happening, it's like my grandmother is in my mind. It was like a huge page in a book turn. And I was on to chapter 2 of my life. And I had tea with Thomas and Myrtle several years afterwards, because I lived in Barrow for about 6 years. And Thomas said, no, Myrtle said we were having tea, and she said, you know, Richard, we didn't understand you. We thought you were crazy, all right. Remember? And I said, I laughed, and I said, yeah, I talk about you every day. She said, we didn't know what was going on. You were laughing and crying at the same time, all right. Man, you were crazy. But it was there that my life changed, and I lived in Barrow happily for 6 years. As a matter of fact, I had clients last week who arrived in a jet in a Gulfstream. I had brunch in Barrow last Sunday with my dear friend Fran Tate. Why Nome? Because of the roads. And why Nome? Because I love gold rush towns. I've always loved them. I performed in them. And this is my favorite, right here. Cripple River. Yeah. GPAA. I've been out here for many years, and you are in so many ways the spirit. And I want to dedicate, because I'm going to kind of slip back into old Richard, about 27 years ago, and sing a song that you'll all know. And if I can get through it, I'm an old man and haven't stopped smoking yet, so I'm going to do my best. But this is for Stan, Al Marconi, Al's wife, and some people I know going through some tough times, for whom I have total respect and admiration. For you, my friend. Hello, Central. Let's crank this puppy up. Little New York, New York. Oh, there it is. I even got choreography, Jesse. Oh, yes, yes, listen to it. Oh, yeah. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep, and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York. Sleeps and find I'm in the make a brand new start of it.